I'm going to record to the cloud, although I'll regret that. Lori, there you go. Yeah, I wanted to do this thing. So I posted, I was really shocked. I don't know if you guys noticed the Facebook post or not. I posted a Facebook post. I've built about 600 AI employees now. And I posted a Facebook post saying I built 600 employees. Who wants to see them? Who wants to see how I do it? And they've been bugging me to put a Manny chat on my thing to send out, logins and all that. And sometimes I'll post those posts and get 3 people, that reply. This one got almost 900. So it's evidently something people really want to know how to do. So I want to walk you guys through that. Paul, what's up, buddy? Hadn't seen you in a while. Hey, Cara. Cara and Lori. We got all kinds of old and new friends coming in. So we'll get started here in just a minute. Let's give it about 2 or 3 more minutes and let most of the people who want to come in get in. All right. Thank you so much. I didn't ask Angie or Trisha or anything to get up in the middle of the night to help me. I know Angie's got soccer games and Trisha's asleep, I'm sure. Has anybody built any AI employees yet? Any of you guys built AI employees to do tasks for you yet? Shamari has. Cara has. All right, cool. So I'm going to be showing you kind of this really basic little 20-minute version of this today. For those of you guys who are in the Ignite Mastermind, I see a lot of you guys are here from Ignite. You already get trained on this stuff on a regular basis, and we're moving to more advanced models with humanization and more RPA and robotics. But so many people are not using just the basics of what you can do, and it's really, really, really incredible. So I wanted to show you guys how to build those. So let me hop over. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to do that. And I'll do the entire screen. So, yeah. So let me get, over here. So I've got this, I could show you guys an hour-long way to do this that might get you a marginally better result. But I'm going to show you the way that I've been doing it lately, and it's getting me a great result, and it takes literally just a few minutes to do. So I go to ChatGPT o1 models. So I want to sometime pretty soon, I think next week on Ignite, I'm going to talk about the different models, because there's becoming a really big difference between the models and OpenAI. So when you open OpenAI, you see this top left, it's always defaulted to ChatGPT 4.0. That is currently the dumbest model. Now, it doesn't mean it's a dumb model. It has a 117 IQ. It has a massive amount of training in it. So it can do a lot of really cool things. If you look at the average, I think the average American is about an 85 or a 90 IQ, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's right. I have a 121 IQ. It's pretty good. I have a daughter that has a 142 IQ. So wicked smarter than me. IQ doesn't make a shit, really. How you reason and how you think really matters. So I think a GPT 4.0 is kind of like everybody. It's the everybody bot. Like if you take the average of Americans and you throw them together and you're hiring an average employee to do a job for you and you're going to train them, it's probably going to do that job as well as anybody else. And the model that we're going to be using to actually execute this work is 4.0 for now. And I'll show you guys a little bit of an advanced version of that at the end, and I'll show you how I stack some of these as well. So, but I'm not going to use that to create the prompt. There's another model now called 4.5. 4.5 model has proven to be the best model that I can find at writing. So it writes better than any other model. So if you're trying to write books, if you're trying to write blog posts, if you're trying to write training guides or whatever, 4.5 really does an extraordinary job. That's really, and it's great for brainstorming ideas too. It kind of has the friendly, smart guy, nerdy writer kind of feel to it. But O1 is my favorite model. So there are, O1 is an advanced reasoning model. It has a 137 IQ, I think it is, but from an IQ standard, so it's very, very smart. I believe that it's the best at helping me to do most things that have to do with ChatGPT. So if I'm trying to use ChatGPT to teach me how to use ChatGPT better, right? I use the O1 model. The O3 model, which I think everybody has, O3 Mini, is really great at kind of really mathematical analysis, things like that. It seems to do a lot better job with that than it does. Like if I want to, like for instance, the other day I went to the doctor and I got blood tests, right? I took all my blood tests. I just screenshotted the blood test results and dropped them into 3. And it gave me a total analysis of my blood, where I was, what I need to look out for, stuff like that. Fortunately, I was pretty healthy. I had a gross ass ickiness last week, and I was a little concerned. So I went to the doctor at the end. They did me a bunch of blood tests. So it turned out great. So, but the point is, it really was pretty good. And it told me, hey, this one thing you might want to look at, my gravity level of my urine was slightly heavy, which means I'm probably dehydrated. But, it was really interesting how it could not diagnose that, but almost diagnose it. So that being said, let's go to O1. And who's got an employee they want to create? Who's got some sort of employee that they need? Just put it in the chat. If you have an employee that you need, somebody that does something that you don't want to hire for, but you'd like to have. It's really cool because you can think of these things that you will never be able to afford to hire somebody for, like a Pinterest assistant. Most people wouldn't hire somebody full-time to be a Pinterest assistant or to be a Pinterest manager. A content creator. Okay, Shmori, I'll do one of those. Need an SEO writer. Okay, I can do that. You want an SEO writer or do you want an SEO manager? You want somebody that can really analyze SEO in a whole site, create navigation for you and all that, or you just want a writer, manager? Okay, cool. So let's do that. Let's do that one first. And we can do as many of these as you guys want, as long as I stay awake. Okay, so all right. So I'm going to go here, and this is the trick that I've learned. So what I typically would have done previously would have come here and said something along these lines. I would have said, I want to create an SEO expert to manage my properties. They need to be able to do this, that, and the other thing, right? I would put down, keyword research, analyze current blog post, analyze my websites to tell me efficiencies, where I'm missing, things like that. I would do all those things. And the problem with that is that'll work, but it takes an extra step. So one thing I want to really recommend to you is, let me show you that way. And then you guys will see where the way I'm going to show you is a lot better. So let me write here. I want to create a profile for a super SEO expert to help me with everything in my business. That has to do with search engine optimization, all the way from helping me to structure my websites, to select plugins for my WordPress sites, to adjusting the WordPress platform itself for better search engine optimization, to creating navigation, all the way to analyzing and even creating content for the site that will rank better than other content will, period. Can you help me with that? Question mark? Please answer yes or no. Yes. Okay. I do that for a couple of reasons. I like to ask it if it understands the task or not. And maybe that's silly, but I like to do that. So I'll say now, okay, go ahead and write me a profile for the kind of person that I'm looking for. So super SEO expert, here's key responsibilities, yada, yada, yada. And this is pretty good, right? This is actually pretty good. But do you see how detailed this is? Pretty detailed, website strategy, WordPress expertise, technical SEO. Now, I'll show you a little trick that'll automatically make this a whole lot better. Act as if you are an SEO expert that manages and hires other search engine optimization experts and tell me what I'm missing from this profile. What else should I be looking for? The best thing you can do when working on, I've just got a scratch on my back. Look at that. The best thing you can do when working on something with OpenAI, especially O1, is ask it what you forgot. What should I have been asking, right? So localization and international SEO expertise, EEAT trust factors. I don't even know what that is. Experience, authoritiveness, and trustworthiness. Something I would have never thought of, right? Technical depth at large for complex sites. See all the different things that it gave me that I never would have thought of. Isn't that crazy? So it's going to give me that. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to grab all this and just hit copy. And I'm only doing that because I've got two different threads there. And I'm going to say, okay, please take all of this into consideration and write me a job description for this employee to put in a job listing at Indeed.com in the San Francisco Bay Area, period. I am looking for the very best of the best. I'm willing to pay $250,000 for this position. I only want people that have a proven track record that are super, super skilled. So be sure to ask for everything we could possibly want for this position. Here's what you've given me so far to work with, but feel free to add on. And I just dropped in there what the feedback it gave me up front, right? So now I've got all the feedback it gave me up front, and it's going to go out and write a job description for a $250,000 SEO manager in the Silicon Valley, the Bay Area, right? So it's going to look at the Bay Area and see these job descriptions and know how advanced these people really, really, really need to be. And then I'll show you the little trick that's super, super easy. So here we go. All the things that we asked for: minimum 7 years hands-on SEO experience, at least 3 years in leadership and management role, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Pretty freaking great, right? Now I'm going to say this. Okay, that's awesome. But I think instead I will build a custom GPT to do this job. Period. Please write me a very detailed set of instructions for a custom GPT that can do the job that I was going to have this employee do. Period. Be sure that it's detailed and easy to understand for the GPT. Now it's going to write a set of instructions. So this is the master instruction set. So this is the prompt that's going to train the custom GPT. Okay. Crawlability and indexation, page speed and core web vitals. This is all stuff I would have never thought in a million years to ask this thing to do, right? And it's going to give me this amazing prompt. And it's even going to give examples, chances are, of output, final reminders, things that it shouldn't be doing. Should not produce or endorse spammy link schemes or black hat tactics, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to come over here to my GPTs. And yeah, create a GPT. Just click there. And you're going to get a screen that takes you over to the GPT helper. Okay. So I'm going to do this a little bit weird. I'm going to go to docs. I train this 3 different ways, and this is my own little secret sauce recipe. So I'm going to take the output that I just got and I'm going to paste it here. Okay. Into a document, SEO expert. And I'm going to make a PDF of that. And I now have empirical evidence that this really matters to the performance of these AI employees. Emma was building some stuff recently, and she was using dropped-in training, and the dropped-in training gets forgotten. So imagine that this is an employee, right? You've always got to imagine these people as humans, these bots as humans. So imagine that this is a human and you were training them. Well, you might sit down in a room and work with them on training and tell them everything they're supposed to do. But if you leave them with no documentation and no textbook to go back to, or no manual to go back to, or no SOP to go back to, then they're going to drift. Does that make sense? So I train them 3 different ways. I'll show you what I do. Well, crap. What did I do? There we go. So first off, I'm going to go right here to create, and I'm going to drop that information into the create window. And a lot of people, this is really all you would have to do to get a pretty good AI employee. So all that information is going to drop into the create window, and it's going to read that, and it's going to update that GPT. Okay. It's going to create a profile image for it if that doesn't error. Lately, the profile images have been erroring for me. Oh, there we go. Okay, gave me a good one. So there's my custom GPT SEO expert. I can change the name over here. I'm going to call it Perry's SEO expert, right? So now what I'm going to do is it wrote a set of instructions here, but I don't like that set of instructions. I like the set of instructions I wrote. So what I'm going to do is go here and I'm going to upload the full-blown set of instructions that remind this thing what it's supposed to be doing. Because what it always does, it truncates. When you do the first thing that I did, it reads it just like a student would read the lesson, right? It reads it, and then it kind of writes a book report or a summary of what it's supposed to do. But when you drop in this SEO training down here, you've reinforced the training, right? So can you help me audit my site for technical SEO issues? We can do we can have a number of prompts here. These are prompts just to start conversations. Can you create a perfect blog structure for me? Let me see, what else can we do? Can you research keywords for me for a blog article? Can you write a complete SEO strategy for? I like those prompts where I do for, because that way I have to give it a prompt to move forward. And that's it pretty much. So I'm going to go here and create that. And that's how hard it is to create an employee. So if I go here to, I'm creating a new property called sourdoughstarter.com. I want it to be the #1 ranked property for sourdough starter in the world. And I need your help in creating that. Can we start off by getting suggestions of what WordPress theme and what plugins we should use to keep WordPress lean and running fast. Better yet, I'm not going to do that. Hi, I want to create the best sourdough starter website in the world. I own sourdoughstarter.com. Can you give me a complete search engine optimization plan? So we'll start off with this an overarching plan, right? Let's see what it comes up with. Who's the audience? How do you plan to monetize? What platform you want to use? Who's on your content team? Technical SEO, crawlability, ensure that robots.txt are, right? Evergreen guides. Here are the guides that should be your evergreen guides. How to make sourdough starter from scratch, top 5 sourdough starter kits reviewed. What's your calendar going to be? Yada, yada, yada. So it's going to hit me with all these bullet points, right? And I will say, this looks great. Let's get started and just run down the map from 1 to 8. Expand on number 1 for me. Give me an actual SOP to hand my employees on how to perform these tasks. So here's an entire SOP of what needs to be done just for the first portion of this. And this is the checklist and deliverables. Next step after completion is crawlability, yada, yada, yada. So let's give it a curveball. Say, go out and find the top 3 websites that rank for sourdough starter now. And tell me how we can attack those competitors and overtake them. Let me know the difficulty of each. So there's my top 3, and those are the top 3 competitors. Lots of visual content, comprehensive guides, and the clever carrot SEO optimization is really good. Can you please look at those top 3 competitors and pull me a list of keywords that I need to be concentrating on to compete with them? Can you give me an example of one good 2,000 word article that you would create about how to make a sourdough starter from scratch? Period. Please tell me how you created it and why you created it, with information like how you found the LSI keywords, the schema structure, etc. So it's even giving me the slug. H1, H2, H3. So it's doing all the research, the LSI, latent semantic index and keywords that it's using, how they're sprinkled, one per H2 section, the content UX, UI, scannability score. This is advanced shit, man. If you want somebody, you won't find an SEO guy that a guy or gal that's going to work with you like this. So we can go ahead and bullet out the full article here if we want to. Yes, go ahead and write the full article, and let's do it in the voice of celebrity chef Paula Deen without mentioning her name. And without sounding too racist if possible. How to make, hey, y'all ready to bring some real Southern comfort to your kitchen? Today, we're talking about little jar magic that turns water and flour into the most delicious bread you ever sink your teeth into. So, but this is not just the way this is written, it's the way that it's structured. This is structured perfectly for SEO. This is going to eat SEO alive, right? Because it's an SEO first article. Now, that may make it less friendly readable, right? So sometimes you want to do these where you write the article first and then run it through an SEO filter. And there's your article. It wrote it for you. It's not great, but it's not bad. But this thing's job's not to be an SEO article writer. This thing's job is to manage your search engine optimization. So ideally, you're going to want a different writer bot to write for you, and then take that article and drop it in here and ask it to optimize that article. Does that make sense? Because it's going to have a job just like you would have a job. You wouldn't ask your SEO person to write most of your articles, but a lot of people do that. I want an SEO content creator. Well, the problem is most decent writers are going to be lousy SEO content creators, right? But this expert's really awesome. So we could probably go to somebody's website. Like, let me see. I'm going to embarrass myself here. So I know that I've got DIY Projects has all kinds of problems. So I'm thinking about buying the website. Can you tell me how well it performs in Google from a search engine optimization standpoint? So it's going to go out. Growth opportunities, content refresh, backlink building, technical improvement. These are all very basic, but if I decide to buy this property, how would I approach growing its search engine optimization in a very detailed way? Please give me a detailed plan of what to do should I buy this property. So here's a 30-day, here's a 90-day post-purchase plan of what to do. And this is a site that gets about, I don't know, a few thousand visitors a day right now. Based on the fact that this site gets 3,000 to 5,000 visitors per day as it is, how many should I expect to get after 90 days? So it's giving me estimated boosts to the existing pages based on doing various things. So 6 times 30, 180, 225. So yeah, 20 to 50% increase in traffic if we follow those things. And here's the 90-day plan to do it. So you can kind of see how this thing really does know what it's doing. So if you want to create another employee that manages, let's say Pinterest or Instagram or whatever, it's going to show you the things to do. One of the things that I've found that's really fun to do is to find one of these guys and create them for a particular market and then make them black hat or gray hat, which you can do. You can ask a really cool question like, I won't create another one. Let me see if I've got a Facebook person in here that I can pull up really quickly. I do all these things too, like just these sketchers that I create hand-drawn graphics with a bot now. I just say, if I want to go here and say, make me a drawing of a paper airplane. Yeah, it's asking me too many questions. I used to have somebody that drew sketch art for me in the Philippines, and I don't ask them to do that anymore because I can do this and um I don't have to buy clip art anymore. And you guys that see some of my other presentations, you see me putting these in. And it's going to give me an image here. Someday, running really slow tonight. There you go. So it gives me a little paper airplane. I can knock the background out Canva. And if I want a paper airplane drawing, that's a pretty good one to put in a presentation or something. Let me see where else my other GPTs I have in here that are really cool. T-shirt design wizards. This one's really cool for creating transfers. Create a really colorful T-shirt transfer for Key West, Florida's annual beer festival. What do you want? You want what do you want, Neff? You want psychedelic retro or tropical watercolor? All right, there you go. And it's giving you a transparent PNG 300 DPI. That's kind of cool, right? So you can put text around the top of that, you'd be done. But that little GPT is really cool for just, I could go in and prompt all this all the time, but these GPTs just save you so much time. And what's great about the GPT that a lot of people don't understand, like this is my paid speaker assistant. So if I say, watch this, this is something I really like doing. So this is SHOT Show. So I could go here and say, I want to write a proposal for Perry Belcher to go speak at SHOT Show about how to market gun-related businesses. Can you write me a proposal? So it's going to draft a tailored proposal that's for SHOT Show. Why Perry Belcher is a fit for SHOT Show. So it's going to allow me, this is how we did the bot that we created for the guy that did see this as like, as the founder of Digital Marketer Survival Life and Native Path, which is not Native Path, combined revenue over $1 billion is not true. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Fee structure between 25, 35,000 is correct. So it's going to it's giving me a proposal. So when I have one of my outsourced people in the Philippines sending out proposals for speaking gigs for me, they're using this to customize the output. So everybody gets a different proposal based on what kind of show that they have. And had I done that a little differently, I probably would have asked it to really dig into SHOT Show and understand it a lot better. This one creates quizzes for me. This is one of my favorite, absolute favorite new bots. Ryan Levesque charges $25,000 to create quiz funnels. And I swear, I think this creates better quiz funnels than Ryan does. Paul, what are you selling nowadays? Sunshine and Rainbows? Grayhairsecrets.com? He's typing. Sculpting your life platform. What's generally about? Creating like the perfect life you want, like chiseling away at things you don't want, etc. Okay, let's do that. Our client Paul has a program called Sculpturing Your Life, and it's all about chiseling away the things that you don't want in your life to create the final work that you do want. Sort of like a Michelangelo's David, but in your life. Can you create a quiz that will get people interested in that subject using the covert quiz model? So the covert quiz model is really interesting. This is a concept I created. Basically, what it does, it creates quizzes that there's actually hypnotic commands in the questions of the quizzes. So it's kind of like writing copy inside your quiz, right? So what's blocking your inner masterpiece? Ready to start shaping your life, find out what it means. 1 to 2 lines. Take the quiz below to find out. Which phase best describes the way you're feeling now? I'm stuck in a rut. I'm juggling too much. I've been growing, but I'm still feel like something's missing. Honestly, I'm ready for a change big time. Question 2. The first 3 questions are what we call greasing the chute questions. They're real easy to answer. How often do you feel like you're living on autopilot? All the time, more than I like, sometimes rarely. Uh, when you imagine your ideal life, what stands out most to you? Freedom and peace of mind, deeper connection and purpose, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so now the next questions are going to be pain and pleasure questions. So, what do you think is weighing you down right now? Old habits and limiting beliefs, a job or lifestyle that's not aligned, toxic relationship strength. So, it could be all of those. So, what you do in these 4 to 11 questions, you're actually embedding there. It might be a toxic relationship. It might be my old habits or beliefs that are slowing me down, right? You're not alone. It's all about sculpture, right? A sculptability, right? 5. Um, if your life were a block of marble, what would you carve away first? Look at that question, Paul. Is that a badass question or is that a badass question? Right? So this thing just does a great, by the way, I'll share this with you guys real quick. If you want. Let me share this since you guys came to the Yale chat tonight. People are really sleeping on quizzes. Not everybody, but a lot of people that I know, they're spending $100,000 a month or more in Facebook traffic right now. Almost all of them are running quizzes. There's a reason for that, right? Which of the areas of life feel most out of sync? Career, business, health, relationships, inner world, mindset, etc. What do you want to feel more of? More clarity, more confidence, more freedom, more fulfillment. So you're basically telling them there's the ability there to feel more of all 4 of those, right? How ready are you to let go of what's not serving you? Which metaphor feels most like your journey right now? Would you um, would you love support in sculpting your next vision of life, the next vision of your life? Yes, give me the tools and let me go, yada, yada, yada. Imagine looking back a year from now, what do you hope has changed? So that's a future casting question. This is all built into the model that I built for this particular GPT. So now you've got to your results. The sculptor in you is waking up based on your answers. It's clear you're ready to be released from not be blocked anymore, ready to chisel out your masterpiece. Click below to get the life sculpting discovery call with Paul. So book your call here. And this call to action could be changed to practically anything, right? So this is, and you can use Google form, type form. I use Jot form for these, but I wouldn't be done here, right? So what I would do is say, okay, great. This is a diagnostic quiz. Can you give me a landing? Can you write landing page copy for this quiz for me? Page copy for this quiz for me. So here's your landing page copy with a headline. You weren't born to settle. Bullet points. What's in it for you to take the quiz? What happens after the quiz? Right? Pretty cool. So there's your whole landing page. Now, can you give me 4 different results, outcomes based on the scoring of the quiz, and give me names that you could assign these people? You're the blocked visionary. Based on your answers, you're the blocked visionary, or you're the inner excavator, or you're the rising phoenix, or you're the almost aligned, right? And you can give them those different things. You could create, yeah, hold on, watch this. Yes, create me visual badges for each of those. So now you've got a badge to give them when they hit their, when they hit their different, when you tell them who they are or what they are, and you're diagnosing for them. These are really terrific. What could I do to make this quiz even better? I always ask that question at the end. Add a personalized score page with dynamic results. So make it to where each different person, based on their answers, gets scored differently. Embed a short video from Paul on the results page. So you could do 4 different videos and get them on those results pages based on how they come out at the end of the funnel. Does you see that, Paul? Created follow-up email sequence. Oh, that's great. So, and then make it shareable and visual. Claim your badge here so they can share their badge. What are you likely experiencing? Add a what are you likely experiencing section in the results. Gamify the quiz experience slightly. What about adding a premium giveaway for completing the quiz? Does that usually increase the amount of people who take the quiz? So you can get a life sculpture starter pack, free digital visualization, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You combo giveaway. So do you see how this thing is really, it really understands quizzes. It's really, really a smart quiz bot. It's not just a stupid, it's not like going to Chat GPT and saying, write me a quiz. This thing is pre-trained on my training, Ryan Levesque's training, a number of other people that have used quizzes effectively in the past, case studies and all that. So that's the way I kind of create these. So let me go to the chat and see what kind of questions that we have. Cara, are you still on?
Yep, we're here.
Do you see anything that in the chat people need answers to, or what have I missed? I can't watch the chat and do this. What do you see? Anything?
Not too much. Graphic designer was suggested.
Yeah, that one's really much easier now than it used to be. Like if I wanted to create let's build a new logo designer because I don't have a new one since they updated the graphics thing. Let's build one real quick. Let's build a logo designer. Write me a job description for a logo designer for a top tier Madison Avenue advertising agency in New York City. This designer must be able to do the best of the best of the best branding work out there. They need to understand color theory, font theory, design theory, and they need to be able to work with the client to ask the proper questions to create amazing outcomes for them when it comes to logo creation and complete brand packages, including vision boards. Period. This job pays $250,000 per year, and we are only accepting top tier applicants with a long work history of victories. What else could we possibly ask of the candidate to ensure we get the very best? Great. Let's revise the job description to add those in and recreate the job description now. I'm basically showing you how fast you can really create one of these if you're not slowing down to teach, because this is how I would normally do it. This looks fantastic, but I've decided to use a custom GPT to do most of this work. Can you please write a set of instructions for a custom GPT that can integrate with OpenAI's graphics generation tools to do most of this work with the same degree of quality as a Madison Avenue designer? Make sure these instructions are as detailed as possible. And I'll give you this logo designer too when we're done. And this one's going to act more as a wizard because it's going to ask a lot of questions in the beginning because it has to. So there's our instructions. Let's go here. My GPTs. Harry's logo creator. Let's go back over here. Drop these in. And it's going to go create this thing. While we're doing that, we'll go to the docs. Okay. So it's already done over here. So we're going to go to this side and we're going to upload our document for training. And we'll test it and see how well it did. How long did that probably take? Was that a full 5 minutes? So I've got the different prompts here are help me create a brand identity from scratch, create a logo concept for my brand new keywords, brand's keywords, generate mood boards. I like all this. Okay, so we'll just create that. What's the name of your company, Brian? Your Key West company?
Florida Keys Resorts
Okay.
and Key West Bars.
Okay. I want to create a fun mood board for Florida Keys bars. This is a website, newsletter, and community all about the bars and taverns in Key West, Florida. The mood has to be fun and colorful, as I'm sure you can imagine. So it's going to ask a lot of qualifying questions. To attract people to what's going on in Key West and to come visit. Travelers between more financially secure travelers, parrot heads, and some retirees. Less spring breakers. Very flip-flop lifestyle. Very flip-flop lifestyle, laid back, tropical, a little cheeky, a little adventurous, a little Hemingway. Cannot feel at all corporate. No, use your imagination. So you could have uploaded ideas there or things that you'd seen that you liked or whatever, and it would have looked at them. So here we go. So it's going to tell you about what it's about to do. Hemingway haunted. I like Hemingway haunted. Man, you should have a Hemingway haunted house at so that gives you kind of an idea. Do you like that mood, generally speaking?
Yeah, that's normal for down there. Definitely.
But do you like it?
Do I like it? Yeah. Would I buy it? Yeah, all day long.
Okay. So because you could certainly change it. We could say, no, we want it to be more. Hell, let's do this real quick. This is great, but it looks like it appeals mostly to men. Can we make it appeal mostly to women? Not saying you want to do that, but let's just see what it gives us.
That's 61% of our audience, 45 years old, high net worth female.
So see, it kind of lit it up a little bit. It went more the pink and teal. See, this was a little more, I think it's a little too rustic. This is a little more modern. Do you want to be more modern or you want to be nostalgic?
The modern speaks to the audience better. I agree.
Okay. We're getting closer. Could we make this a little more modern without losing the essence of Key West? That's a little nicer, right?
A lot nicer, especially the high-end drinks, stuff like that, the
I can't
bar
hear you, Brian.
settings. Yeah, looks good.
Your audio went out, bro.
Did it? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that looks good.
Okay. So let's say go ahead and give me that color palette, please, with PMS colors or color codes. So there's your hex codes for all your colors.
Nice.
Right. Give me primary and secondary font selections, please. Show me what those fonts and colors look like together. Or going bonkers on us now. I don't know if we're going to see this or not. I don't know what's going to happen. I just blew it up. I think it's going to want us to download this and upload it so we can see it. So
Probably.
may not. It's still, he's still going. Can you give me a visual representation of what that looks like? There you go. I don't know why it jumps off and does that now every now and then. Yeah, there you go. So there's the colors and the style and the fonts and everything. Okay.
Perfect.
Now let's make a logo for Key West bars. It should be a rectangular shape to be used for a newsletter header. There you go. You should have that in a couple minutes. Tim, you could do robots that help you write all your Airbnb descriptions. You could have 3 go in and analyze real estate data, traffic patterns, all sorts of stuff. That's pretty nice. That's a little too wordy, isn't it?
Yeah, you can. It's not hard to pull the text out of there now with the Canva Pro. So
Yeah, but this is way too big for the top of a newsletter. Can you give me something that more resembles what a normal news header would look like? They're typically a 2:10 ratio. So one thing this doesn't do that great is ratios. I still use ideogram a lot for that.
Yeah.
I'll show you another trick real quick. They're slowing down the accounts, even the $200 accounts. They're slowing us down now. They're making everything run slower than it used to. I think on purpose, just to kind of like the cell phone companies do to reduce your unlimited plans.
Manos did the same thing to me 2 nights ago and had me upgrade to the paid plan, and that's still slow, but it's not stopping. It's working consistently now. So
Yes, there you go. So that's beautiful. Like if you just screenshot that out of there,
yep, perfect.
that's absolutely stunning, right? And you have to pay an artist a lot of money to build you something like that.
Sure.
Right. And they really captured the essence of Key West and the buildings and the pink and that salmony pink and all that. They nail that thing, I think, in my opinion.
That relates right to the audience right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty awesome stuff. But one of the things I can do too, you can say, can you please give me a set of instructions? A prompt to see what kind of results I would get similar to this from ideogram. If you guys are watching this right now, you're not in Ignite, you want to know more about Ignite Mastermind, you can send me a direct message. These guys, a lot of these guys are in Ignite Mastermind. They can tell you if they like it or not. But I just did this more to show off a little bit tonight and have some fun. So
Perry, people are curious if they'll get the recording from this.
Did above. I don't want another graphic. I want a prompt to use that ideogram to compare to what you did here.
Oh, there was a prompt up above that, Perry.
I think I like that even better.
It's cleaner.
There you go.
Perfect.
So there's the ideogram prompt. So if I go to I made that the wrong ratio. 2:3 ratio. Let's change that to. And it may give us something better, worse. You never know. I really like ideograms outputs on logos. A lot simpler.
Yep.
I'm not hating them though.
They got the color schemes right too.
Yeah, this one's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that one.
Yeah. But sometimes you can just say, here, I just want a Key West bar horizontal logo for newsletter header, and just take out all this crap. And it's amazing how good they've gotten at understanding what you want without having to give them a lot of instruction. Yeah, arguably these are better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not bad. Right?
Nope.
So, but anyway, there's just a million of these things you can build. When you get to the advanced stuff like N8N, if you don't know what N8N is, if you really get into building agentic AI agents, really employee replacers, you're going to be using something like N8N. I'll show you like what an N8N show you a graphic. So this is kind of what an N8N graphic's going to look like. You can build automations like this that are going to go do different things. So, you're going to send it an email. It's going to write something to Airtable. It's going to go over and use OpenAI to write another piece, take the outcome from the first bot that it runs and run it to another bot. And all these can be done in N8N. They can be done in make.com. But this is just kind of giving you an idea of what N8N does. And what's interesting right now, I haven't done this yet, but you can actually screenshot this screen right now, drop this into OpenAI and ask it to make you a JSON file of this automation. and you upload that into N8N, and the whole automation is done for you. So you don't have to create the automations at all, which take quite a lot of time and a lot of logic to figure out. Then what's really coming next, for all you igniters out there, those people that are Ignite that are already moving, more advanced into this than the rest of you guys. The next thing that's coming is MCPs. So an MCP is really an interesting thing. I'll close this out and then I'll take questions if you guys have any, or if you want to see anything else, I'll come back to it. But an MCP is really interesting. What an MCP does for you, you have to imagine it like a box, right? So it's this, Tim's a tech guy. He'll totally get this. So imagine that you've got a soft, almost a virtual server, right? And that virtual server, let me lighten up my picture here. I'm looking all, there you go. It's getting dark as I'm looking like you, Shamar. Okay. So that was a little racist, right? Everybody's a little bit racist. That's me. Shamori knows we're the same person, so he doesn't worry about that, I don't think. So what an MCP does, where right now you can create custom GPTs like I showed you. And those things honestly can reduce your workflow in everything you do by probably 85 to 90%, no matter what it is that you're doing. Just that. When you start tying those together in automations, and what we're doing now, we just hired a guy for you guys in Ignite. You're going to get turned on to this because I've been giving you guys hundreds probably of custom GPTs to work with over the time. I've given you guys loads and loads. So what we're beginning to do now is build full-blown automations. So full-blown N8N rather, automations. So if you guys want to run Emma's speaker booking system, right? We're having that built in N8N so that we give that to you guys. We share that with you. So it may have 25 or 30 custom GPTs running inside of it doing the job, but you'll just press go and it goes and does the job for you. So we're going to start releasing those out to you guys. And while we're doing that in the background, we're building MCPs. Nuno and I are working on MCPs with Cosm. What an MCP is basically, so that's going to be that's next level is these advanced automations. And we've talked about using like MindPal. I think a couple of you guys have used MindPal to build advanced automations. But really N8N does a great job with them. It really, really does. But all of that is probably going to be obsolete in another 90 days, believe it or not, because of MCPs. So an MCP, imagine there's a soft box that you've got, this imaginary box that you can take all the tools that you use, either on your own computer or on the web, Canva on the web, Photoshop on your own computer, Gmail, Docs, you name it, right? So instead of using API, you just use this one button thing called an MCP. So most all of the bigger providers are providing MCP plugins now. So it's sort of like a WordPress plugin. So you're just going to hit a button and you're going to add that to your MCP box. So now you're going to have this MCP box, softbox setting that has, 50 tools in it, depending on what all you subscribe to. It could be the tools inside Springboard or high level. It could be your G Suite. It could be your graphics generator. It could be whatever. And instead of you having to sit down and create how to logic out getting a job done and how many GPTs you're going to have to create to do that job, right? There's going to be a project manager that sits inside your MCP box. And you're just going to tell it, this is the outcome that I want. And it's going to know all the tools that you have. And then it's going to build the bots for you. It's going to build the GPTs that it needs to complete that task and attach them to the tools that you have at your disposal to complete that task. all without you ever having to see the guts of what's under the hood. You can see it as it builds it. There's one right now that's kinda okay called Smyth.os, SMYTH.os. So if you ask it to do a thing, it'll show you how it's going to build out the whole network of bots to do it. I wouldn't buy it. I think it's not ready for prime time. But Manus, if you've used Manus yet, how many of y'all have used Manus? Yeah. So Manus is basically in MCP. So Manus has all these tools plugged into it. But so Manus right now is the hot shit on wheels, right? You're going to have your own Manus in less than 90 days. So you'll be able to have your own various different Manuses, right? That do various different things. And your project managers, you're going to want multiple Manuses or multiple MCPs because you're going to put different skill level project managers in those MCPs. I know this is getting kind of heady and crazy, right? But it's where things are going, right? And this is where you are really going to be able to build those one-man, $100 million companies. They're really going to happen because you can plug in, Tim, Airbnb, HomeAway, all those things. A client can come in looking for a place in Kansas, and you're going to be able to tell that MCP, go find them the best possible result, put them into this autoresponder sequence. Don't send them an email, a general email anymore. Only send them emails for the next 3 days about places in Manhattan, Kansas, as new openings come up, where you're going to be able to customize every single this is exciting, where you're going to be able to customize the message going out to every single person on your email list. They get a completely different message based on how they last interacted with you. Does that make sense? So that's where it's going. So all you igniters who think I kill you already with 9 million things, get ready to die with 500 other cuts because we're about to do some other crazy shit, right? But it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to enjoy it, and I hope you guys are making a lot of money. I know Shauna's making money. I know Carr's making money. I know Shamori's making money. I want you guys to make a lot of money, right? This is my job with you. This is my job with you. So if you're not in Ignite right now and you want to be in Ignite, hit up one of the people on this call that's an Ignite member. Raise your hand if you're an Ignite member so they can see who you are. Hit somebody up on there. Ask them if they like being in Ignite or not, or what they think about it. And try to get on there. If you see this video, same, you can go to ignitemastermind.org and see what we're all about. But we are a group of about 1,100 members strong who are moving this movement forward in the AI space and the RPA space, and soon to be in the physical robotic space, which I'm really going to freak you out. So everybody's going to have a robot now, So, but we're doing it all over here. It's a lot of fun. So I hope you guys get involved with us. And any questions before we wrap up today? Anybody want to unmute? You're welcome to, or ask a question, or just type it in the chat. I can look in here, see if there's anything anybody needs. You build your robot guinea pig. That's pretty funny. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully some people will like this video. Is there anything do you guys think I left out of here that I should have added in before we wrap up? Just to give people, I kind of want to give people a taste of what we do in Ignite. Yeah, Coach Cara?
Only thing, if you don't know the specific job details you're looking to put into the original GPT, any suggestions on how to make sure you're putting the right description in for the LinkedIn piece that you did at the beginning?
Yeah, you ask it, right? If you notice what I did, I said, write me the perfect job description for. So what I try to do is go to the most competitive market in the world for tech. Let's say it's for tech. I want to go to the most competitive market in the world. I want to go to Silicon Valley. For advertising and design, I wanted to go to New York City. I wanted to go to Madison Avenue, New York, right? So write me a description, a $250,000 killer designer, right? Now, And I would have challenged the design work if I had more time, because the design work didn't look that great. I would have challenged it and said, why doesn't this look better? Do a better job than this. You're getting paid way too much, right? But I had it write me the job description. And then I said, what else should I ask of this job to get the perfect rock star candidate? Now merge those two together and give me a new job description. Do you follow? Then you just say, instead of hiring this person, I want to build a custom GPT that can do their job. Now, there was a level I didn't show you guys. I'll show you guys on Ignite, where you can take these same sets of instructions now and go over and drop them into projects. And projects work just like GPTs do. The only difference is all GPTs run using 4.0. You can't run a GPT running anything but 4.0. But there's an upside downside. This is the way OpenAI does it. Custom GPTs are shareable. So I can share them with you, right? So when you're building in projects, they are not shareable. They're only usable by you and your team. But you can choose what model you want to run that automation with. So if I want to run a mathematical model and I know that 3 is going to give me a better outcome, I can run that robot running 3. If I want it to be analytical and instructional, I can run it using 01. If I want it to be writing, creative writing, novels, articles, etc., I can run a 4.5 model. Does that make sense? So it allows me to choose the model over there, which gives you much better answers, generally speaking, than 4.0 will. 4.0 is going to give you, 4.0 is your average employee, just to be honest. And if you don't give that employee too much to do, it'll do a really good job. But when you're asking it to do really high thinking, high reasoning, it's not going to do a great job because it's not the best reasoning model. 03 or 01 are going to be your best reasoning models. 03 mini or 01 are going to be the best reasoning models. 03 mini, what I find it to be is kind of a smart ass. I mean, it's really, really, really smart. So if you ask it to do something dumb, like write a blog post, it's going to be like, yeah, here's your blog post, dumbass. Why are you asking me to do that for? And it's going to give you something kind of academic and something that a high IQ, your pussy showing, Paul. I got a little gray kitty. It looks just like that. But yeah, it's going to give you that kind of outcome. So just be sure you pair the models, right? Does that make sense? Somebody said the original prompt is more than 450 words, won't fit the context window. That's correct. That's the reason that I drop it into the training window first, and then it writes a summarization of that into the I drop that in the assistant window, and then it writes a summary into the training window, and then I create the PDF document as backup. And you can, if it ever starts hallucinating on you or not giving you the outcome that you want, you can say, please go back and read your training documents again and try again. And it'll typically come back with a really good result. Does that make sense? So it's just like an employee. You just say, hey, look, I got this work back from you. It kind of looks like shit. You need to go back and read the manual and try again. You really have to think of these bots as people. And that's the hardest thing, I think, for most people to really get in the whole concept is that. So, okay. Anybody else got anything they need? Questions, thoughts, feelings, emotions?
I was going to say,
I'll post a recording of this, by the way, into Facebook because I had people that were looking for it Facebook and I couldn't make the Facebook thing work. Yes, Shawn.
no, I think you nailed it. First of all, thank you. What I really see that works tremendously is when you create that PDF document and put that in a knowledge base, it changes everything. And actually, the more pieces you can put into the more examples it gets of what you're trying to do, the better it will do that task.
Yeah.
So even if it's the same information, but you have it in the instructions spot, and you have it in the knowledge base. You may have it somewhere else in there. You may say, hey, refer back to this.
Right.
It'll really help get its attention. I mean, trust me, as somebody who has attention disorder, I know what it's like to have to put those things in place, right?
Yeah.
Another thing that I try to do when I get time, when I really want to take my time with the bot, is I look at other LMMs and see what those look like. I may create the instructions in Chat GPT and then say, hey, let me go put it in Grok and say, hey, these are instructions. I'm creating something. These are the instructions I have right now. See if you can improve this. Let me see what you come up with. And then I might take it to Claude and do the same thing and just see what they come up with based on what I already had. If it's the stuff that's better, I use it. Stuff that's not, I forget about it and try to make it nice and neat and put it in there for the instructions.
Yeah, I'm oftentimes now. So what I showed you earlier, like if you noticed how advanced the quiz bot was, it was probably the best one that I showed you, right? So I have complete books in it, complete textbooks in there on quiz theory, gamification theory, all sorts. There's over 20 training documents in that particular bot. There's I went into one of the things I've been doing lately that's a really sneaky little trick is taking these big master classes in YouTube and grabbing the transcript of the master classes and using the transcript of the master class, though, as a prompt and saying, based on this, go out and produce me a deep research report on this subject. So I'm using the entire transcript of a YouTube masterclass as a prompt to go run a deep research project. So you get this, because the problem with deep research projects is I say, based on this strategy, write me a deep research project. The problem with deep research projects are they're just research projects. They have no strategy attached to them. So if you start with an attached strategy and try to prove or disprove it, and I'll tell it that, try to prove or disprove the strategy. And then when it's done with the deep research project, I'll say, now go out and find me as many supporting case studies as you can on this subject, personal case studies, published papers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it'll go get me all these references. And a lot of times I'll ask it for stories so that if I'm using that then to sell somebody on the idea, I've got stories and case studies and proof. I'm working on a thing right now, by the way, that you guys are going to find, I think, really fucking cool. I'm delivering it at Driven Mastermind next week, and then I'll get it out to you guys fairly soon after. We're running a lot of case studies on it right now, but it's called the pyramid pitch. It's called the pyramid pitch, and what I've done is taken the way that the major consulting firms like McKinsey, KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, all those guys, how they pitch billion-dollar projects and created a direct response messaging plan out of that. And it's pretty freaking amazing. It's basically the opposite. It basically inverts the entire process that we typically use in direct response marketing. And what little of it we've used so far, we're getting back really pretty spectacular results. So I'm doing that right now. I'm also finishing yet another book. I got so many books ready to go to publishing. I've got a book ready to go to publication purely on pricing strategy, like how all the things that affect people when it comes to pricing and how the mind works when it sees a price or when it conceives of a price. So those are the things that are kind of cooking up in old Perry's brain right now. So not like I'm sleeping or nothing, anyway. Awesome. Cool. What says I've been using Grok a lot. It sucks at writing. Grok kind of sucks at everything. Grok only has one purpose, in my opinion. When you want to learn how to make crystal meth, it will tell you how. It's and Paul says, bingo. No, really, honestly, if you want to ask a question that the other GPTs don't want to answer, like if you want to know the black hat way to do whatever, or if you want to know how to manipulate a person into doing whatever, Grok will tell you how to do it. The others won't. And honestly, probably if you ask it how to make crystal meth, it would probably tell you. It tends to, it's amazing for coding. I believe that probably is true. I don't have any idea. I don't do any real coding with all I'm using for coding, and honestly, we've talked so much about Bolt and Lovable and all that. But if you haven't done it yet, go code something or create a website in Claude. Drop a website in and say, I want a website that looks like this for my business, and watch Claude go to work. Claude's really got to where it's very, very good at creating web properties and simple apps now, where you don't actually have to go out. And I think that's going to be the trend. I try not to get you guys too far down the rabbit hole of these small verticalized AIs, because eventually we're going to be down to 3 or 4 AIs that do all this stuff under their roof. And it's going to be like you're going to choose. You're either a Mac person or you're a Mac person or a PC person, or it's going to be the diet that you're on, right? Or whatever. So if you're going to choose OpenAI, or you're going to choose Google, or you're going to choose, Meta. Everybody's discounting Meta and forgot about Meta. Meta, don't sleep on Meta, folks. If you can buy yourself a little $1,800 computer from NVIDIA right now, you can drop Meta onto that thing and you can have your own in-house AI running, and it runs fast as a freaking rocket. Pretty amazing when you think about what you can do with that power. Setting that little computer for NVIDIA is this big. It's this big. The whole thing is this big. It's one of the most powerful computers in the world. It's this big. They built it to be attached to robotic things. It's built to be the brains literally inside the head of humanoid robots, or on, autonomous vehicles or what have you. That's what it's designed for. But right now you can buy it and sit on your counter and run Meta's models in it. And Meta's models are competitive with all the other models, but there's no fees. You drop that down and you can run that thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it doesn't cost you anything except electricity. It's pretty amazing. I haven't figured out exactly how I want to use that yet, but I know there's huge advantages. I know there's huge advantages to it, but I don't know exactly what they are yet. I don't have enough heavy use. But I think once MCPs are in place, you're going to see that model really take hold. Does that make sense? Because MCPs, like if you've used Manus, you know that Manus eats up credits like a son of a bitch. It really does. So you're going to see those MCPs going to eat a lot of credits, and prices are going up. If anybody, I don't know if anybody's heard this or not, but GPT-5 is evidently already developed. So, and they're selling it. Guess how much it is? Anybody want to guess? It's $20,000 a month. So you're going to see these more advanced models get much further out of our reach for a lot of us. They're going to be big corporate models that can do amazing things. That's the rumor, and it's that rumor's been around a lot. So I think there's probably a lot of smoke there. There's probably some fire there. But they're going to have some bigger, more expensive models very, very, very soon. All these guys are. But Grok's kind of sucking hind tit right now. I don't think they're doing a very good job of much of anything. Evidently, they're very good. Evidently, Grok is really good at math, like really advanced math. But I don't do a lot of advanced math, so it's not a need for me. All right. Cara, thanks so much for helping me out with being our cruise director tonight. I thank you so much. And I'll let you guys go off into your evenings and enjoy yourselves. I can't wait to see you guys. I'll see you, Brenton. Are you going to be at Driven?
Yes,
Tim,
absolutely.
you're going to be in Vegas tomorrow?
Yep,
I'm in
leaving
Vegas
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be in Vegas tomorrow. We got the cruise coming up before you know it. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys. I guess I guess Wednesday morning I'll be on, or Wednesday I'll be on with you guys out of Vegas, I guess. So, but I look forward to seeing you. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.